Hey guys, and thank you so much for joining us on our spoiler cast of Veronica. If you haven't seen Veronica yet, stop this video right now.
Boom.
Okay, thank you for watching the video, coming back. We assume you did that because now we're going to start getting into some details of this movie. We have a very special guest with us today, independent filmmaker Richard Trejo.
What up, dudes and gals?
Richard, what did you think of Veronica?
Dude, Veronica is right off the bat, it's a visual masterpiece. You can put this movie on mute and still experience how, just how beautiful and brutal it is. One of the other things that I wanted, or that I kind of connected with, because I also do music, I know you guys are musicians as well, was in fact the music.
How, we didn't mention that in the last.
We're kind of getting into this realm now where the 80s retro synth music is coming back in a big bad way. Stranger Things kind of just blew it out of the water. John Carpenter. I feel like Adam Wingard's The Guest was one of the ones that capitalized and did such a good job.
Was that Survive?
I believe so. I think so.
That's one definitely.
They do Stranger Things, but I think they also did The Guest.
I'm not sure. I think it was either that or Johnny Jewel, maybe one or the other. This movie, from the music to the camera to the cinematography to the acting to the writing, was just a masterpiece, and just I guess it sounds cliche to say, but sometimes you just got to use it. It was a force to be reckoned with.
I couldn't agree more.
Really? Yeah. Like in the beginning of this movie, when they're setting up Veronica's character, they managed to make. At least this happened to me as an audience member. I started getting kind of tense and anxious.
Oh yeah,
because she has to take care of her family. Her mom is paying for everything, but that means working almost 24/7 at this bar that they own.
And she's got 3 younger siblings,
little kids, and
who just dealt with death. Too.
They all dealt with the death of their father.
Their father has died, so it's up to this 15-year-old girl to take care of everything.
Yeah, so intense.
And they do that. They do that effortlessly within the first 5 minutes of the movie. And I thought the way they did the introduction of the solar eclipse. Was so cool.
Talk about some really great visual work here. Just also the editing too, because we have on one hand we have the entire school coming out to see a solar eclipse. They're all going to the roof, but Veronica
looking down.
Beautiful.
But
with Veronica and her friends have snuck away with a Ouija board, and the whole idea is Veronica wants to talk to her dead father, and so they go down into the basement, and so we have these 2 stories going on at the same time, and I just thought it was so cool, how whatever was happening with the sun all of a sudden manifested in the board a bit, and it was just the snappy editing was.
Well, I mean,
really cool.
the teacher kind of explains it, which is one part I was like, well, okay, you're gonna get a pass from me, but why is a teacher talking about some of this stuff?
We're setting it up.
Well, you're setting it up. But when they talk about they're doing a solar eclipse, I totally bought it. Then she's like, by the way, human sacrifices used to be committed. I'm like, okay, what class is this?
It was probably history class.
This school has teachers talking about human sacrifice. Cool, all right, it's a choice, dope. It's a private school, obviously, right? You got your choices. The other thing is, they got a nun there named Sister Death.
Yeah.
That's fucking even
Well, that's what the
crazier,
kids call her, right?
Yeah, that's what the kids call her.
And that actress is really good.
She's
blind.
great.
And she's kind of the harbinger of this movie.
Oh
She's
my
the,
God.
you're
Absolutely.
doomed character.
Oracle.
If there's any character that is a device in this film, it is that character.
But she's fantastic.
What I really took out of this film is that on the surface level, it is that movie. It is this demonic possession movie. The Ouija board and all that stuff. But what this movie was really about, in my opinion, it's a subjective opinion, and I think it was meant to be a subjective thing. But in my opinion, it's really about the folly of growing up before your time, rushing growing up, and the dangers that come with that. And I think from opening shot to the end shot, which we'll talk about later, it was visually told. This movie is about this girl she's not allowed to be a little girl anymore.
No.
She has to be an adult, and she has to take on it. So, and this demon manifests, but the demon is really just a great metaphor for the lack of the loss of her childhood.
Yeah, a good horror movie, you invest in the story, you invest in the characters, and then the horror is just a part of that story. It's not something necessarily to scare the audience. It's just a necessity to the story. As the solar eclipse is happening, the Ouija seance goes way, I guess you could say, better than expected.
It goes very well, yeah.
Like they do.
Like as far as Ouija experiences go, that's a 10. Something shows up and latches itself onto Veronica.
Yeah.
Like it does.
It likes Veronica.
Like it does. And this is one of those moments that kind of happens in every possession movie, but I think the way they did it, at least the way that Paco Plaza constructed these scenes, it was kind of like when that moment when she sits up and her mouth is wide open.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I read another review about that, and it's definitely a trope. It's in Ouija. It's in a lot of the extended mouth, but
the Origin of Evil movie,
right? But all those movies, especially the American movies, like they go overboard with the CGI.
No, it was just slightly enhanced.
I mean, after watching it a second time, I still don't know if it was definitely CGI that did it, or if it was just really good use of a wide-angle lens at the right angle.
Oh man, that would be amazing. I think they had to have had some.
They probably
sort of
did
CGI,
a little bit,
just a
but
little bit of doctoring.
I feel like at the same time though, that was a lot of our actress.
Yeah, so she's sick and starts kind of exhibiting signs of possession, But the fact that their mother is kind of out of the picture and it's done with these younger siblings that she has to take care of. Suddenly there's this rift starting because she's getting possessed and cranky and stuff, so she doesn't want to take care of the siblings.
Yeah, and truly scary stuff is happening.
And scary stuff is happening to her.
Stakes are high.
But I love that that adults are out of the picture, and it's this family, but they're very young and they have to deal with this very serious situation, and I thought that was handled really well.
The dream sequence that she has, she wakes up and we don't even know she's in a dream. I didn't, at least, and then you figure out like this better be a dream. Where her little sisters come and waking her up, and
that seems really good.
And they start literally eating the flesh off of her, and then they zoom down and she gets her period for her first time.
Yeah. Well, they show the mom do that scene.
The mom's looking over her.
Yeah, the playing with focus was absolutely brilliant.
That focus puller, getting that hand
got
right
that
at the
hand.
naked time. That hand comes up like,
I'd like to talk to Plaza. We'd like to have you on the show. I mean,
come on down. You're definitely watching.
These guys will talk to you and get it all out of you.
Another scare that really got me, and this is okay. So when we gave our scores in the last episode, this is why I knocked it down to 9.5. Is that one of the first scares is that she comes into the room and she sees her dead father, her naked dead father, and he was truly terrifying. Not just because he was naked, that was a nice touch, but he was really scary.
A nice touch.
It was a nice touch that he was naked. He didn't have to be. He could have been
naked
in his suit that he was buried in, but it was a nice touch that he was totally naked because it was scary. And this is where I knocked it down, is because after that we start seeing the creature.
Yeah.
And yes, this movie did not have the budget. It doesn't have like the ritual creature, which they poured so much money into making this amazing creature.
You saw that one, right?
Right? Yeah. It was good.
The rituals.
It was scary. But what I liked about that is like they doubled down on that creature and made it look fantastic, original. This one didn't. It wasn't original. It was just kind of this black,
we've seen this
figure.
a lot.
Yeah.
I think if they
crisp,
yeah, I think if they would have taken like half of the times that you saw the creature in this film and put the naked father in there, that would have been just as scary, way cheaper, and you wouldn't have like spent all of the creature.
It's like The Shining, dude.
Okay, so I was watching this movie by myself in a dark room, and the first time this creature shows up, I don't talk to myself out loud in horror movies, especially when I'm by myself. If you're with like a big packed audience, you kind of get into it and you start doing that. When you're by yourself, you usually don't do it, and I literally gasped when she walks past that doorway and you see the shadow moving.
Yeah, the silhouette of it.
Oh my god! I literally that was the reaction I did,
and then
you see it in the TV, and it does that creepy turn you were talking about, and I was like, "That is how you introduce a villain in a scary supernatural movie."
Nothing gets me like a good silhouette.
Oh man,
good silhouette shot, dude.
And they do it. There were some effects that they used. I mean, that's what was so cool about it and refreshing is that it was 98% practical. It had to have been. Yeah. There was a couple moments, and you could tell when they had to use CG, they couldn't get themselves out of it. And
there's one particular part that knocked my score down 0.2 points.
This was the reason.
This is the reason.
This is what did it.
The mattress shot.
Yeah. But the hand comes out.
The hand comes out of the mattress and grabs her.
That was a little
great concept, but when you're looking at it, it's a very long shot moving up to this mattress, and you could tell right away. Okay, this mattress doesn't look real. Why doesn't it look real?
It wasn't. It was the
stains and stuff on top of it.
The hand was real, but it was the stuff that was joining the hand to the mattress. Yeah, that
it was very. It was
connective
CG,
tissue.
Yeah.
And I was thinking there should have been something else that they did because the whole movie is up to this standard in that one part.
It's like a fucking coming of age tale.
It totally is,
right?
Absolutely.
But it's disguised as a horror movie.
It's awesome.
Well, that's what all good horror movies like It is an example for me. It's one of these movies that's not about the horror. The horror just is a necessity to the story.
Yes. I gotta be honest with you, dudes. I love this movie, but like I said, it's the 0.5 that did it. Yeah, that's where I'm like, the ending was for me.
Yeah,
it was still a little lackluster.
Well, what I did like about the ending of this movie? is that it ended on a bummer.
Yeah,
like that's real bummer.
Not really though. And I'll tell you why. But you guys talk about your bummer.
I disagree, good sir.
It ends with our titular character.
I mean, she dies. The demon wins.
Yeah.
Long story short, she's dead.
Yeah.
Okay. So and then what happens? Right. So the
detective writes a good report.
No, he very importantly picks up a picture of her, a photograph, frame photo,
and it burns
in front of her. Her face burns, and this is
call.
To me a visual of like the child is dead, and then literally gets a call after the face burns. The child died, right? But the last shot of the film is a close up of her face. The photo that is
and then it burned. It kind of melts.
And it says, like, to me, that's saying, don't lose your child. Don't lose your inner child. Like, she died. Like, the child was dead. Veronica is a metaphor for this inner child or whatever.
Jeez Louise, man.
I think we all agree that we really, really liked this movie. But we each had little different parts of nitpicking. But overall, I wished that more horror movies went along this route when it came to their storytelling.
I couldn't agree more. I think it's like it's just evidence to me like why European or actually just any filmmaker that's not in the U.S. they've got the balls to tell a story that's bigger than just a horror movie. Mm-hmm. Here in the States, we make these really beautiful, glitzy, glamorous, scary movies, but when it comes down to the substance, there's nothing there. And this movie is a perfect example of something really being there.
Okay, so we're going to wrap it up here.
Okay.
Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. Please go, there's links down below. Check out Richard Trejo's YouTube page.
Thanks.
Tell them what we got in store for him.
Dude, okay, so we just got done producing a documentary called California Paranormal with LAHorror.com, which is Hunter Johnson.
Oh, right.
He's directed...
we'll put a link down to LA Horror as well.
Yeah, dude. Mm-hmm. And so we just got done doing that, so that's going to be coming out soon. Mm-hmm. And other than that, we got some other projects in the future.
Awesome.
If they watched the last episode, they know what scores we gave it. Do you recommend this film?
Oh, hells yeah. But here's the thing. I have a caveat to that. Mm-hmm. I recommend it, but only to certain peeps. Because if I'm not going to go and say, hey, Mom, I need you to check out Veronica, because she wouldn't understand it. But then again, that's my mom. Mm-hmm. You know, someone else's mom might dig it. I think it's just, it depends. If you have people that can handle a slower burn of a horror movie, and you know, seeing something that might be in some instances a little bit like, you know, strategic, like same old song and dance. But if you enjoy a good script, some badass acting from some kids, and some visuals that'll just blow your mind.
Yeah.
And some disturbing ass images. Even if you love some disturbing stuff, check it out. It's got it for you.
Couldn't agree more. All right, thank you guys so much for checking this episode out. We'll see you in a couple days with another review.